Hey everybody, it's Jeanette at TradeThirsty. Sorry for a couple minutes lag on that. Well, me, not we, me over here trying to make my new mic work. I think I'm gonna have to hire somebody. Y'all type a 1 in the chat box if you can hear me. Just a 1 in the chat box would be lovely. I want to see like 400 ones because there's a lot of people in here today. Y'all must be really thirsty today for knowledge. Type me that 1. I might just do a random drawing later for some cash. What? 1 in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, they're coming in now. All right. Kathleen, Peter, Larry, Colin, Christian, Heinrich, Jennifer, Abby, Stan. 1 times 400 equal 400. What? That's what I'm talking about right there. Well, I welcome y'all today, and I know that we're all in our corona situation, corona conundrum, I keep calling it. But in the Corona Conundrum, I am blessed to have Adam Mesh in I call it my stable sometimes, my stable of men and women who are willing to get online for free and talk about what they're doing to make money in the market. And so Adam and I, we go way back, and I was trying to share an image of he and I, but my computer is acting like a crazy person. So that didn't happen, but I just want you to know that I've known him for a really long time, and he is a stand-up guy who he's just not one of those people that you have to believe what he's saying because he's living it. He's in the market, he's living it. The ups, the downs, the sideways, he's living it every single day with his team, and he's one of the most supportive traders I have in the industry. Adam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Just
Yeah,
soaking up every word.
so you just want me to keep talking how awesome you are? You want me to do that?
No, I'm ready to go. I wanna present this strategy.
I got
I'm
you.
like a
Okay,
bull.
so
I'm like a bull in the gate, kicking his legs against the back of the
it's
wall.
called the bull in the gate. I like it. Okay, well I'm about to open the gate. So I'm Jeanette. I'm the co-founder of Trade Thirsty, and our job is to bring you uh, whatever's working in the market right now with people that we trust. Adam's one of those guys. He's got a great strategy. He's somebody I trust, and I'm not going to go into any more. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to him. Y'all get up for my friend Adam Mesh. Adam, you are live, and it's all you.
Thanks so much, Jeanette. Thank you, Trade Thirsty. Hello to new people that I'm meeting for the first time and people that whose names I recognize, like Kathleen, and Michael, and of course Stan and Josh. Um, I got a great presentation for you today. It's about using the power of options to maximize ROI. Uh, we are seeing a market that in March, where the S&P's average daily move is 6%, and once again today it was 6.24%. Um, as we were going down, I said, don't try to time the bottom. Don't ask how much lower we can go because the market will show you. Same way on the way up. Don't ask how much higher we can go. But trust me, it is not all smooth sailing from here. There will be ebbs and flows to this market. I just got off the phone with traders, and the majority still believe that the bottom will at least be tested again. I think for certain individual stocks, we have seen a bottom, but the question on whether or not that the lows we saw from last week get retested is the biggest thing we're going to see. But I'm going to show you a strategy that has worked every year and is undefeated in March. Every trade we put on has been successful. And if you want to know how we do in a bad market, I finally got the updated stats. You're not going to believe this slide when I show it to you in a little bit, but we've already beat 2019 in the service with 2020, and we didn't have a losing month in 2019. But the first 3 months of 2020 have already beat 2019. So that's what volatility does to this strategy. It's like adding an engine to a rowboat. So let me take you through it. Let me teach it to you, and let me give you the power to use it, okay? So here we go. Real quick, U.S. government required disclaimer, stocks and option trading is not appropriate for everyone. Most importantly, nobody can ever guarantee profits or ensure freedom from losses. I'm certainly not going to do that. All right, I want to start with this chart of Beyond Meat. It looks like a simple chart. I'm going to show you some things I add. It's a very simple step at the end of this presentation that turns this chart into a profit-making opportunity, okay? But this is a very simple chart of Beyond Meat, and earlier this year, one of the first trades we made in the Phoenix was we bought Beyond Meat. We bought options for $3.75, and those options 4 days later were worth $50.75. Those are the kind of trades we're looking for. 1,566% ROI. The same strategy identified Tesla in the 200s, and you know where Tesla went this year. Okay, Shopify. It finds stocks that maybe you've never heard of. Shopify in the 300s and went to the 400s. And this is from this week, okay? And now you start to see the makings of the formula. In the light blue is Starbucks. In the dark blue is Starbucks. The light blue over here is the Dow, and purple is the S&P 500. And what we're looking for is stocks that are going to outperform the market. That's what's going to trigger a trade. We traded Starbucks this week, and you can tell by the chart we were bullish. It worked out well. Okay. We traded Slack last week. Same chart, right? You're going to get used to seeing the same thing a lot. But before we got there, I reached a point in my career where it was going to be the last trade I ever made. Fortunately, it was a long time ago. It was in the 1990s, and I had $1 million in buying power, and it was different then. Margin rules were different then. I had $1 million in buying power on a $50,000 trading account, and I was losing money. My account was about to be wiped out. The head of the firm called me in. He said, "What's your plan?" And I realized I was trading with $1 million in buying power, and I didn't even have a plan. So at that point, I decided to focus on just doing one thing really well. And for me, that was identifying strength out of weakness, weakness out of strength, divergences in the chart pattern. So at that point, I got rid of all my positions. I went only long PeopleSoft, the stock that no longer exists, which shows you why these are short-term opportunities. It was a 3-day weekend. I got back from this 3-day weekend. PeopleSoft was up. I was up 25,000. I sold it. That ended up being one of the worst days in NASDAQ history at the time, although there were 5 days in the last month that beat that. And I was off and running. And from that point on, I continued to do a couple things really well. And that's what's allowed me to be a trader for over 20 years. And that's how I'm going to help position you to succeed and be in this for the long game. Because the longer you do it, the more opportunities you're around for. People that were wiped out years ago didn't have the opportunity to come in last week and scoop up some amazing deals, okay? But don't worry, there will be more. So again, this is the pattern that we're going to be running through today. And it's really just comparing the market. See, light blue is the Dow, purple is S&P 500, dark blue is spot. And you see over here how this breaks away from the market, whether it's breaking out or breaking down. Those are the opportunities that get created, okay? Same thing with Shopify. You see how these charts break out of the pattern? That's what we did. That's what we've always done. But in the original Phoenix letter, which I'm going to talk about, we did it with stocks. Now we do it with options. I'm going to talk about the 11-year bull market, how the Phoenix was brought back in December of 2018. I got some surprises for you, talk about some emerging opportunities, and I'll do a Q&A because I know a lot of people have questions right now with everything that's going on in the market. Okay? So to begin with, you know, I came into this business and it started with an article in Fortune magazine. I was trading, and Nelson Schwartz, a prominent writer, came to our firm, and he asked the owner of the firm, who should I watch trade? He said, watch Adam Mesh, and I made $20,000 in a couple minutes, and he did an article. And then a year later, he did a favorable article, and then a year later, he did a really favorable article. And that led to me getting a lot more exposure. I ended up on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and everyone was talking about my trading success. People wrote in asking for help, so I started a newsletter, and before I knew it, I had over 10,000 people on the newsletter. Now, my free emails go out to over 1 million people every day, but I was providing education. And the next thing that happens after education is people want strategies. So following the financial crash of 2008, I released my first subscription service, which was called the Phoenix. And it's not a coincidence because the Phoenix rises out of the ashes. And at that time, we thought it was an unbelievable opportunity to start a newsletter. And coincidentally, the only time that's been better since then is right now, right? Because the market had never been beaten up like it was then until now. In 2009, the first trades we made, I went back and looked it up. We traded PNC Bank at 16, and that was quickly worth 129. Not quickly, it took about 800%. It went up. Wells Fargo, I remember buying it at 8 and saying, even if it goes to 0, it's not that far away. And it went to 54. That came back to the 20s right now. And so you see over years how much these things correct. So if you're wondering, oh, did I just miss the whole market? I had friends asking me, is it over? Did I miss the bottom? No. With the market moving 6% every day, the opportunities right now are incredible. BlackRock, we identified at 130, went to 594. JP Morgan, everyone was getting out of JP Morgan because the London whale had lost $1 billion. It went up to 99, more, now it came back down. CRM, the pattern that I've been showing you, the divergence, it identifies unusual stocks like Zoom recently. Zoom formed the same pattern. Teladoc. Salesforce was a $25 stock when we discovered it in the original Phoenix. Went to 162. Starbucks at $10. Okay. But then we thought things were getting a little out of control. Boeing became a $400 stock. That was actually one of the reasons why I was like, I don't know if we can do the Phoenix anymore. The market just kept going up, and it was getting too expensive for the average individual trader to buy these as stocks. It was just too expensive. So we shut down the longest running service for a couple of years. It went dormant. And then what happened is in December of 2018, we saw some extreme market conditions. NVIDIA went from the 260s down to the 133s. And by the way, this retrospective is really good for right now because when you see what they did, you could see, because we hit 2016 lows on this recent move. These were 2018 lows. So you could see what stayed strong versus weak then. So in that case, just to show you again, this is kind of interesting, right? NVIDIA went from, let me go back one. NVIDIA went from 263 then to 133. Well, NVIDIA now went below 200, but it never got back to 133. So it's stronger now than it was then. That's good to know. Facebook went from 200 down to 135. And that's about similar to where it went now. So Facebook's kind of like the same. IBM went from 180 down to 105. This time it got into the 90s, so IBM was worse this time around. Okay, although it's back at 112 now. Square went from the 80s down to the low 50s. This time it went to the 30s, so Square was worse. Apple was at 142 in January 2019. Apple's much stronger now. It never got there, but that's what made it hard to buy in because I remembered where it was in January of 2019. So when Apple was at 219, it still didn't look so cheap to me, but now it's back at 257. Okay, so it's good to remember the price history. And those kind of big significant moves was what the Phoenix was all about. And so I wanted to bring it back. And there's another thing, like we're seeing right now. One of the things that attracts me to a market is when the headlines are not just on CNBC or Fox Business. They're on NBC and Fox and all the mainstream headlines. And that's how you know the market's in play, okay? And usually it takes the public and it throws them in the wrong direction, but the individual traders who are watching the market all day create opportunities. So I woke up this morning to a bunch of friends texting me, I'm shorting this market, I'm shorting this market. So what do? I'm buying this market. I like to go opposite the herd most of the time. That's my whole strategy, my whole style. So when I'm doing these interviews and stuff, I brought back the Phoenix letter in 2018, December. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it so that people with small accounts, people who are nervous to get started could do so in a comfortable manner So I made some changes to the original Phoenix letter, although I kept using the same formula. The changes were the team, and I switched from stock to options. What stayed the same was the formula, which allowed us to have all those winning trades then, and we're doing even better now. And that formula was market, momentum, and reward. Okay? So the team is the people. As we've grown bigger and we have more people, I didn't want it to just be me. I have a lot of eyes on the prize. Every day I speak with Christian Tharp. He's a chartered market technician. It's the highest level of technical trading there is. And he reads the markets like no one I've ever seen, and he gives us the perspective. So we talk about pockets of rallies within a bear market. And so this kind of move was something we were totally prepared for, discussed, and took advantage of. Steve Smith, if you ever heard him speak, he's an expert in options knowledge. He's been doing it for now 30 years. It says 25 here. He worked with James Cramer at the Street. Great to have on my team. And Michael Honig is another person, option doc. Talk to him every week about the best option trades. Okay. Why did I switch from stocks to options? And how many of you trade options currently? Just real quick, I want to ask, how many of you, give me a Y for yes and M for no, how many of you currently trade options? I just want to see. And if you don't, just write no, like DB wrote no. Never. No. Mostly yeses. Reading out. Forex only, David. No. Okay. So more yeses than nos. I didn't read out all the yeses. There were some nos though. Let me just tell you, if you're an individual trader, and I used to be against options. In 2009, I wrote a thing like stocks versus options and why you shouldn't trade options. But a lot has changed since then. Stocks have become overrun with automatic trading programs. Options became much more liquid. Plus, they have weekly options, so there's less premium. So with options, you're able to define your risk and go after unlimited reward. And I'm telling you, people who have never traded options before, I'm giving lessons to right now. Like Solomon just said, I don't know what an option is. I literally just gave my friend a lesson on the street. He's never traded options either. All I've been doing is answering phone calls and helping friends out because options is the best way to go in this environment. Let me show you why. Let me explain the difference. So let's take a look at Square stock. This is Square. You can see it over here. Here's the symbol. If you want to buy 200 shares of Square at 57, it would cost $11,430. When you hear that the world's ending, that we're under massive quarantine, that all of India is quarantined, you're not wanting to put $11,000 into Square, okay? But instead of buying 200 shares of Square, what you could do, you guys all see my mouse? JJ, they can see my mouse, right?
Yep, I see.
Okay. So look over here, follow my mouse. So if you want to buy 2, which equals 200 shares of the 57 calls, and just don't pay attention to the date, this is just an example, and you go out 37 days, which is more than enough time because in the last 5 days, I saw stocks go up 100%. Stocks, not options. So 37 days in this environment is nothing. So if you want to buy at 57 strike the right to own Square, instead of putting up $11,000, you could pay $4.60 for 2 contracts, which equals 200 shares, and now your total risk is just $920 instead of $11,000. And the minimum you could get in this trade for is just $460. Okay, so what happened in this example? Square went to 74. The 57 call with 15 days still to go, so you don't have to hold it to expiration, went from $4 and change to 17, up around 400%. Okay, so it was the same thing as trading a stock, but instead of putting up 11 grand, we put up 900 and we got the same reward. That's why options is so much better than stocks. Okay, so that's why we switched to options. If you've never traded options before, this is the service for you. This is the hand-holding service because we do a small number of contracts. If you're more experienced, great. You could just do more contracts as you feel comfortable. So it works for everyone, but it gets people trading, understanding risk-reward in this environment, which is exciting. Okay? Now, the third part is the most important because this is the formula we use for success. And if you look on this particular day, the Dow was down 558 points, And so what we're going to look for is something that has strength. And we identified Celgene. It just so happened that Bristol Myers had put in a bid, so we weren't going to trade this stock because this was up on specific news. But we're going to look for spillover in the brothers and sisters. What are some other stocks that might benefit from this news? Because usually when there's one takeover, there's more. So it identified Guild, okay, which was only up a couple bucks. Funny, as we should say, that Phoenix always identifies really good stocks because, Guild is in play right now as one of the companies in the running to try and stop the coronavirus. So Guild was only up a couple bucks. And while it was trading at 65, what we want to make sure of, and this is really important, is we want to make sure that there's enough room to the upside to be able to take advantage of this opportunity. And that means that if we're right, will we get paid? So in our most recent trade, Starbucks, we knew it could easily make a 5-point move. Not only did it make a 5-point move, it ended up making a 15-point move. But Guild had moved in increments of 5, 85, 80, 75, 70, 65. It had been all over the place. And so we know if we were right, there was a good chance we would get paid. Okay. So we got involved, and instead of buying 300 shares of Guild at $65.93, which would cost almost $20,000, we just bought 3 contracts of Guild going out 29 days for the 66.50 call for $2.40. So instead of putting up 20 grand, we put up just $720. And the minimum you could have done this trade for was $240. Okay? Guild went up. We closed it for a 19% win. That's the formula, market momentum reward. And now I'm just to show you a couple more examples. But the other thing is, when we brought this back, like I said, I really want to cater to individuals. So a big thing for me is asking for feedback on every trade. And it's just important, these are just real people responding to trade alerts that have experienced this, because I want to motivate you. This isn't to make you feel bad about what you missed out on. This is to empower you to know what you're capable of. So this person wrote, "Thanks for another great trade. 3 out of 3. Keep raining green into my account." Thomas says, "It's great service. I paid for an entire year with existing profits and made more on top." David said, "This is my first Phoenix trade. I made 60%. 21%, 40%, and we have a whole wall of fame that goes on. And we keep track of every trade we make in what's called a trade portfolio manager. So we show you the date, whether we're buying or selling, whether it's a call or put, the underlying stock, the quantity, the expiration date, the strike price, and what we bought and sold it for, and we keep a profit and loss in the top so you can see how to follow along. Okay. One of the questions is, can you make money to the downside? Interestingly, in March, every trade we made was a winner, and they were all bullish trades. And I'll show you all of them in this presentation. But we can also make money to the downside. We're not shorting a stock naked with unlimited exposure. We're just going to buy a put. So this was an example in Papa John's. And if you look, we saw that divergence to the downside. The Dow and S&P 500 were going up. Papa John's was going down. If you're looking at present day, by the way, market traders, an example of that happening today was Roku. Roku was down 5 points today while the rest of the market was up. But in this case, it was Papa John's, and it was going the other way, and it made sense. There was some fundamental news that was out that their management was trying to backstop struggling franchises by just giving them money to stay in business. And we're like, that's not the government. That's just an individual company. So we had a directional bias to the downside, plus the chart started to break down. We wouldn't just think, oh, that's a bad idea and short it, but we'll buy puts if the chart is showing us that what we believe to be true is actually happening, which is the stock would go down. So when we put this trade on, we bought puts, and the minimum you needed to do this trade was $1.60. So one contract would be $160. We did 4. So our risk was $640. And the max profit, if it went to 0, was $18,000. This is why you trade options. If you want to short for a Papa John's at 48, it would cost like $20,000. We did this trade for $640. You could have done this trade for $160, and we closed part of it for 100% win, and then we closed the rest at 505 for over a 300% win. Okay, and then we keep track of it all right here with our buys and sells. Every trade we've ever made is in there, so you can see everything we've ever done. And then what we do is we look for the same divergence. And you might say, oh, it's the same pattern every time. Yes, it is. But let me ask you a question. If there was a button that you could hit, and every time you hit that button, you make money, would you hit that button every day? And the answer is yes. And some people try to get cute. They try to get creative. Like, well, you know, what I would do is I'd go find a different button that could help make me more money. No, you'd still hit that button. And if you want to go create a different button, do that too. But don't stop hitting the button that's making you money every day, right? So this was Activision breaking out above the market. The ones on the bottom are the Dow and S&P 500. We see Activision on a breakout. So we're going to get in. We're going to buy options. You could have got involved for $251, and we sold those for $395, and this is what an alert looks like. Okay? You get email and text alerts. AT&T is stock that most people would never trade options on, but we had an alert, and it turned out that soon to follow, because usually the news comes out after we see this divergence in the chart. They had someone on the board that was lobbying for changes. The stock was breaking out. We got involved in AT&T, and we closed them for a 300% gain. Okay? Take-Two Technologies over here. We had a divergence, and we got involved in that trade, and we closed it for a 37% win. Now, what's cool about this is we made money every month. We had 2 losing trades this year. One was BlackBerry. We took a speculative play for 22 cents. We lost it. We lost $88. The other was Kronos. We actually sold 3 of the 4 contracts for a win, but the last one we lost on. So literally our 2 losses were $88 and $57 for this entire year. Those were our only losses. So if you're wondering, oh, how much could I lose per trade? Our biggest losing trade this year was $88. Cash. The option price was 22 cents. We've made money every month we've been doing this. The only limitation is we can only make 1 to 2 trades per week because those divergences don't always happen. In fact, we made less trades in March. All our trades were winners because when we weren't seeing the divergences, there was nothing to trade, so we didn't get hurt at all when the market came down. But when we did trade, oh man, because look at this. That is an equity curve, a thing of beauty. But we already beat 2019 this year. We made money every month of 2019, every month since we started, but 2020 has already beat 2019, and we're just in the 3rd month. So those are the opportunities that we're capable of right now, okay? And I told you at the Beyond Meat, I showed you at the beginning how I'd make that chart mean more. So this was Beyond Meat. What was so important about that is what it was doing versus the market. That's how we got in over here and made that 70% win in Beyond Meat, which I showed you at the beginning of the webinar. And then you see people trying it at all different sizes. This was the ATVI trade I showed you. Alex did it in at 241 out of 395. He made $616. Chuck said that's the fastest 350 I've made in a long time. Vince made $200. So people are doing, some do 1 contract, some do 4, some trade with a lot more. We do sometimes trade the overall market. We bought puts on the SPYs at 329. There's 329 strike for 456. We sold them for 775. That was a really nice win. And then at the beginning of this move, the market seemed what we would say is heavy. So we actually bought puts at 333 on February 26 for $2.25. And that Monday we sold them for 975. So in March we made only bullish trades. In February we did buy puts and we made money when the market went down. Okay. What have we done lately? After that SPY alert, if you look at the top, these are just people responding because at the bottom I say, look, here's an alert that you would get via email and text. We're closing our SPY puts for credit. This is the rare case for market order and get the best price possible. So it ended up being like 9 and change. Or maybe this was the first one. Let us know if you got it, I say. And so people write back, I ended up getting out at 750. I'll take 65% win for sure. That was Amanda. Glenn said 65% gain, more like this, please. Curtis said, great trade. I was in at 448, out at 850, $785 in 2 contracts. Patrick said in at 445, out at 774, 91%, thank you. okay? And then this week, we had one of our best trades. Starbucks broke out. We just simply followed the breakout on March 24th, and we bought calls in Starbucks for $5.30. So the minimum you could have done this trade for was $530, and we sold them for $9.55, which was pretty awesome. So 500 turned into $1,000 in a day. We traded work the week before. Again, same chart. This is what we're looking for, and that was good for a 68% win. So first, this was the alert to buy at 240, and this was the alert to sell the 20 calls for 390. And I even said this could run another couple of points, but I think quick profits make sense in this market. So when we sold work a couple of weeks ago, the market tanked and went lower. Work since then has gone up even more. So I was right that it went higher, but I was right that the market went lower. And these are the two most recent trades we made, a 68% win in work and almost 100% win in Starbucks. Okay? Rather than keep explaining it, I realize a lot of you are new to meeting me because I'm being introduced to you via TradeThirsty. And so what I want to do is give you the ability to take advantage of these trades in a way that's comfortable and makes sense for you to get started. Because, there's a lot of options in this world, no pun intended. So the best thing I could do is just show you what I'm capable of so you feel comfortable moving forward with me. So I put together a special package just so all the TradeThirsty people can feel comfortable getting started. And here's what we did, okay? I think you're really going to like this and feel good about what we did for you. So you could get access to the trades. We put out 1 to 2 option trades per week. We'll just be using calls or puts to take advantage of these things. We're never selling options. We're not collecting premium. We're just buying calls and puts. We're never going naked. We're never owning stock. We're never shorting stock, okay? You get these alerts via email and text. We'll explain the why behind every trade. You'll get invited to all of our training events, including our Options Academy on Monday. And I don't even have to go into all this because this service is at its highs for the year. We haven't had a losing trade in March. We have the best customer support team in the business. I know TradeThirsty is great too, so both call it a tie. But literally, we're so good at answering questions live during market hours. And here's what I put together for you at adammesh.com/thirsty. So corporate rate is $29.95 for like hedge funds and stuff. What I did for all of you, it's $397 for 6 months. $397 for 6 months to get all my trades. It's a super offer. It's a ridiculous offer, so that you could feel comfortable. You could get a prorated refund anytime if you're not happy. And if you choose to stay on, your price will not go up. You could stay on at $397 for the next 6 months. Okay? adammesh.com/thirsty. And I have a bonus for the first 100 people to respond right now, which is pretty cool. Here's what you also get. Not only will you get the Phoenix, you're paying $395 for 6 months, normally $13.95, but you'll get my insider call. Every Tuesday at 1 p.m., I do a call with Christian, the CMT. We go over the market and we talk about individual stocks. We have what's called a lightning round where you ask questions, and we don't know if you're long or short. We just give our opinions on the stocks. If you can make it great to ask those questions, awesome. If not, it's recorded. You can listen afterwards. We also have an Options Academy. So if you've never made an options trade before, you could just go to the Academy and get help. $500 value, free with this offer. And then we also have the Marijuana Insider Report. I've been saying there will be a second wave of marijuana. We rocked it the first time. Okay, let me actually talk about this for a second because it's kind of cool. So the Marijuana Report, I don't want to overlook this because it's a nice extra. And by the way, if you have any questions, you call. When I was on Fox with Maria Bartiromo, they were asking me about Bitcoin at 17,000. I was like, stay away. I told everyone to stay away from Bitcoin. But I asked all the smartest minds I know, 5 years from now, will we be looking back on as having been a better investment, crypto or weed? And the unanimous answer was weed. So I hired a team to put together the best information on the marijuana industry and just send me an update every week. It could be a trade idea. It could be whatever's going on. I just wanted to be informed. And we got into Kronos really early at 6. It went to 15. We got out of it. But now these things are back at 6. They came all the way back. I told my members, stay out of weed. I've been saying for a year, stay away. But I said there will be another opportunity, and we just saw literally in the last week, Tilray went from 350 to 790. It went up 100%. So there's still opportunities there. We're going to keep covering that sector. And if you sign up today, even if you cancel tomorrow, you get to keep the marijuana investing report for free forever. Okay? And that's $147 a year report. You get it for free forever when you sign up today, even if you cancel this tomorrow for a prorated refund. So literally, just take it from me. But I think at this price, it allows you all to get comfortable and feel good about getting started with me. It's $397 for 6 months, just because it's an audience that you might not know me that well. So I figured I'll ease you in so you can feel comfortable. All right. Go to adamesh.com/thirsty, or call the number with any questions. How long do we hold each trade? The Starbucks trade, we were in for a day. We got out the next day. Same thing with the work trade. But like the AT&T trade, we were in for 2 months. Like when we bought the Starbucks trade, we went out to April. So we were willing to hold it for a month, but we made 100% in a day, so we took it. Okay. You got it. So what other questions? Do you have to be at the screen all day? No. We have live trading rooms. Those are much more active. This is more a lifestyle choice. You get an email or text, you put the trade on, you go about your business. But it's nice when you're home right now, so you can take advantage of every Steve said, do we give exit alerts? Of course we give exit alerts. You know, we would never leave you hanging in a trade. So yes, there are definitely exit alerts. Okay. Okay. So again, go to adamesh.com/thirsty. All right. All right. What other questions do we have? Scott, what call were we on, Scott, when you said that? How many of your trades are winners? I actually totaled this with my daughter because they're home from school now, so we had a fun project. And we sat, and 72% of our trades have been winners. Average holding period could be a couple days to a couple weeks. Okay. How often you get the info in time to get the quoted prices? We give you a range. We'll usually say within 10 cents, within 15 cents. There haven't been a lot of times where people missed it. There can be, especially in this kind of market, but like the Starbucks trade, people got better prices, and on the fills they got better prices too. David, you never traded options before. This is my hand-holding service. You know, I had an event the other day where we were selling our live trading room. That's $3,400. That's for people who have traded options and want to get more active and trade with us intraday every day. I like this to be more hand-holding, proof of concept. Let me just show you winners so you feel good and feel comfortable moving forward. Okay. I'm sure the alerts though, Scott, right? They made you money, right? I assume. Do you have a table with all your trades from the past 12 months? I want to get a feel for the types of trades. Yeah, DB, you could go in, you could see every trade we ever made, buys and sells. We do small contracts, but you could see everything we did. And if you're not happy, I mean, I'll just give you a refund. No, we don't have. Dan said, do we have an option service mainly for SPY and QQQ? No. Usually we're focused on individual stocks, because if you look at the pattern I presented in this, we're looking for those outliers, right? What other questions do you want? How do you choose your stocks? So the stocks choose me. That's what I went through with the whole presentation, Josie, where you see the charts and you see the divergence. It literally, it's like someone asked me the other day, we put that Starbucks trade on, and they're like, how did you do that? You know, I look at stochastics and Elliott Wave and RSI, and nothing would have told me to buy this. And I said, the kind of trading we're doing, it's more like surfing. You catch waves. You see something starting to get momentum. You jump on and you jump off, and that's what we do. All right? Guys, I'm telling you, I did this just for TradeThirsty. steal this service. This is $397. You're going to get trades sent to you every week. The Starbucks trade itself, 2 contracts of the Starbucks trade was worth over $800. This is the whole service for 6 months for $397. If you did 10 contracts, you would have made $5,000 on that one trade. I'm giving you the whole service for 6 months for $397, just so I don't even have to answer questions. You just sign up. It proves itself. You're already a member of the program. Thank you, Linda. I assume you're happy. And you're getting the insider call, the Options Academy call, the Marijuana Insider call. So, yeah. One to two trades per week, Steve. Okay? Christian said, if everyone is getting entry and exit alerts at the same time, clearly most people will only be able to enter at higher prices and won't be able to exit at lower prices. Do you provide limit recommendations with your alerts? So we provide a range, Christian, but also these are some of the most liquid stocks like Starbucks and other things. And if we're all doing 2 contracts, it's not affecting it. Starbucks is trading millions and millions of shares. So you could ask the members, they get better prices sometimes, worse prices, better fills. We're not moving markets. And you're getting email and text, and not everyone sees their email at the same time, so it's not coming in like that versus a live trading room where it could be more. That's why we keep our live trading rooms small amounts. Just one entry, one exit, DB. Just one entry, one exit here. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? What if we call in the trades to a broker? If we have never done options before, will we still make money? You know what, James? I would say this. It's the same trade either way. I don't know how much your broker is going to charge you. This is an investment in yourself. It's very easy to open a trading account. A lot of my friends are doing it right now. I'm pricing it at $397 for 6 months so that you can feel very comfortable getting motivated to start. I mean, it works out to $66 a month, which is $16 a week. So you open a trading account. I don't know what your means is. Like if you can't, then don't do it. But if you put in like 2,500, $5,000, you get the alerts. You learn how to make the trades. You know. So you could do that on TradeStation yourself. You don't have to call a broker. It's worth it to figure it out. We have an Options Academy on Monday. So if you have any questions, you go in and ask the pros. You chat in. So what's the minimum to start? Whatever you want. The Starbucks trade we did would have been one contract, $500. So would you be able to do one trade for $500 and still have a couple thousand left to trade with? You know, look at it like that. How soon do you have to make the trade after the alert sent? I'd say within a couple hours. Sometimes you'll see a trade and then it will be gone. Sometimes you'll get a better price. The other day we put a trade alert out on Beyond Meat. This is a different service. But we said to buy at like $10 and we sold it at like $11.80 for like 18% return the next day. Someone missed the alert. A day later they sold it for $25. They made an extra $3,000 on 2 contracts simply because they missed an alert. So it goes both ways, you know? We don't use stops because we're only risking a little amount on these trades anyhow. David, you could call up for info on the Options Academy, 212-774-5983. Okay. Dan, where do you check the profile? So once you get a membership, and like I said, speaks for itself. I'm proud of that. If you have any problems, Dan, it's not open to the public. It's the private member site with the trades. But if you actually go through the motion, pay for the service, log in, and you're like, oh, those trades aren't what you said, I'll give you a 100% refund. I beg you to see the trades. I've shown you most of the trades, you know? PayPal, Abby? I think we might. Do me a favor, just call 212-774-5983. Okay. What other questions? 5 more people jump in now before I wrap up for today. 5 more spots going now before I wrap up for the day. 212-774-5983. Or final questions. All right. AdamS.com/Thirsty. Call the number on the screen. My whole team's here to help. We're happy to help you. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate you so much.